All right. Hello there, ladies, gentlemen, gamers, and Overwatch 2 haters, because there's barely any lovers for this game anymore. It is I, your host, Chris Allen here, and while we usually get a special guest for these Overwatch reactions, this time I had a little trouble. It's been a while since we reacted to Overwatch, and I'm gonna be honest, it's because I've been busy and because I've been horny. But I'm not as busy and I'm not as horny right now. So I worked my way, I spent a lot of money, I pulled a lot of strings to get today's special guest to react with me to the Overwatch 2 patch notes. Because it's very important that we know what's happening with this dogshit game. And you would not believe today who I managed to get with us. Would I be grateful to introduce this person would be an understatement. I'm here to introduce the great, nay, the amazing Reaper of the USA, Mitch McConnell.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hello there, Mitch. Thank you
Uh, how are
so
you?
much.
You?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very, very busy schedule where I'm sure they don't pay you nearly enough for the job you do.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hopefully, Reaper gets, buffed.
Oh, I didn't realize you were a Reaper player, Mitch.
Me and him are just, connected.
I see. You're both very close to death in some ways. I do see that. So, Mitch, might I ask you something?
What?
With Overwatch, it being a little bit in the state that it's in, I related a little bit to the USA, to the US economy even, where things aren't looking so hot right now for both Overwatch and the United States. What do you think Overwatch needs to do going forward to kind of rectify some situations? Because I know for the United States, like, we know what needs to be done, it's just not getting done. But for Overwatch, what do you think needs to happen? Just before we
Well,
even go into this.
well, the higher ups need to stop following in the steps of the Democratic Party. And
Hmm.
first
Hmm.
step in doing,
Hello? Mitch? Is this thing on? Mitch?
Get him the medicine.
I see. It seems we lost Mitch for a second. I don't know if it's a connection thing or what, but I'll see if I can work on that in the background. Hopefully Mitch is okay. I'm sure it's all fine though. I'm sure it's all fine. But anyway, we're here to go over the Overwatch 2 retail patch notes, as if there's any other patch notes out there. This is for September 7th, 2023, so we are a little bit of a day late, but that's okay. We're still here. So,
uh,
oh, Mitch. Mitch, is that
yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah,
Mitch, are you okay?
yeah,
Oh, I think we had like a connection problem or something. I couldn't hear you for a while.
yeah,
Do you remember what you said?
yeah,
What were you saying?
yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna give you a minute, Mitch. Anyway, so here we have Overwatch 2 Anniversary 2023. Now, my memory isn't the best, but Mitch, when did Overwatch 2 come out?
Yeah.
Okay. So apparently it's been a year. It doesn't feel like a year. And I'll say this, and I've said this for a while. Overwatch 2 released pretty much in beta, and they said it was in beta. I still feel like this game is in beta. I still feel like they don't have this game down. And a big issue I have is they take a lot of stuff from Overwatch 1, which is not big stuff, but they like to make a big deal out of it, like the on fire system and then
Sounds like the
hero.
Democrats.
Exactly, exactly. Like the on fire system, like hero progression, and they like to take them away from us and then reintroduce them later on in the life cycle of Overwatch 2, saying they're new, even though they're not new and they're just worse in a different way. So, yeah, I still think Overwatch 2 has a way to go, but I will give it to them. They are still working on it, but this should have been done already. But anyway, so apparently it's the anniversary. I can't believe it's been like a year. This is crazy, but let's see what they have to say here. So, we're celebrating the first year of this dumpster fire of Overwatch 2. Come and play returning event game modes, including everyone's favorite Battle for Olympus, Katamari, Star Watch, the game where for some reason they put Winston against Bastion, and Mischief and Magic, which was just out not too long ago. All these are game modes that, aside from the joking, I wasn't really too much of a fan of, and I really think these are lazy. Mitch, what did you think of these game modes? I don't know if you played them all too much, but what do you think of them?
Yeah,
Okay, all right, thank you, Mitch. So yeah, I didn't think these were too crazy. I thought they were kind of lazy, and if this is the events going forward,
I,
like Overwatch keeps saying, I'm
I
not.
think that I think that the old game modes were better,
Yes, I do
and
too.
and the Democrats are pushing this agenda
Oh
where
man.
they want the people to like Star Watch,
Oh my
but
God.
I don't understand why Winston has to go up against Bastion
I don't either. It's one thing that just doesn't make sense. In this light, Mitch, I'm really starting to hate the fucking
when
Democrats
it should
now.
be Winston versus Reaper.
Oh, okay then. Anyway, you'll be able to take part in new, count it, new challenges that reward Overwatch credits. Yippee! Which can be spent on returning, so again, all old stuff, legendary skins from the in game shop. So this isn't too far off from the regular Overwatch anniversary where they bring everything back anyway, and it's the same thing here. I was hoping they'd do something new, but I'm not surprised that they're not. It is an anniversary after all. But anyway, we have a new game mode, which I'm wondering how this is new, which what I'm reading here is Hero Mastery. Interesting. Hero Mastery is a new single player game mode, I see, that allows players to test their skills with individual heroes on custom courses. It sounds like this is a tutorial almost. Push your expertise to the limit with high scores and dominate the leaderboards. Are you up for the challenge? So, I actually saw this in game already when I was playing Overwatch, and I already think a big issue with this is number one, you cannot play this in queue. I have not played this yet because while I was in queue, I tried to play it and I couldn't play it. Now, I know it's going to be mentioned later on, so I'm going to wait on it, but I have a big issue with what's out already, and it's going to go to the previous issue I mentioned of Overwatch is working on stuff, but stuff isn't where it needs to be. But anyway, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Mitch, have you experienced the Hero Mastery yet? The new quote unquote game mode?
No,
Okay, so this is going to be a first for us both. So let's see what they have here. Each hero can be played up to 3 unique courses, which increase in difficulty, flex your skills in single player, and unlock up to 5 stars on each course, similar to a 5-star meal, which Overwatch definitely isn't. Hero Mastery courses are scored on various factors, including time, elims, heals, and escorts. Each hero has individual stats that are tracked as well, and you can collect all the Mastery emblems to show off how much of a loser you are. Hero Mastery is launching with a limited time event that includes exclusive rewards. So currently we have Tracer, Reinhardt, and Mercy are available, along with Sojourn, Winston, and more coming in the weeks ahead. I don't know why, on release, you will only have Hero Mastery for Reinhardt, Mercy, and Tracer. Reinhardt is a pretty widely used tank, so I understand him. Mercy is an okay healer. Not everyone uses Mercy. You either love her or you hate her. So that's fine. I'm pretty sure not a lot of people use Tracer. These are the only ones you can do right now. So if these aren't your heroes, yeah, you could do like maybe the initial courses to get a feel for them. But why the fuck would you do this for someone you don't play? Why is this releasing with only 3 heroes available? I thought this was supposed to be hero mastery. I thought if my hero's out and I play them, I can show my mastery off. Not I have to wait a couple weeks for Overwatch to either add it in because they haven't made it, or restrict us from content so they could drip feed us like many other games unfortunately do nowadays. But I'm very confused about this. Mitch, do you have anything to say about them drip feeding us the content and it releasing with only 3 heroes for God knows how long to come?
the Democrats always like to drip feed,
I see.
but they don't know that their agenda is not going to work.
So, would you say in this case the Democrats is the Overwatch team?
I think the Democrats is all of Blizzard.
Oh my, okay. Well, you know what? Sadly enough, with everything I'm seeing, I might have to agree with you. Anyway, Hero Mastery, I think, is like Overwatch, still in beta. They haven't released the whole thing, and they're not going to for it seems like a while. So, what's next? We have ping system updates. Owned in titles, owned entities such as Torb's Turret, Sim's Teleporter, or Alari's Pylon now have lower priority as targets over the heroes. Imagine you were trying to ping a Reaper flanking you, and instead you ping your Alari turret. So no one knows like what the fuck's going on. That's pretty funny. But I guess
Ha ha
that
ha.
thank you, bitch. I think that that's rectified now, but that's kind of stupid. Anyway, we have finally the main part of this hero updates. Now, I haven't done a patch review for a while for Overwatch, and again, that's because I was busy. But I don't know where some of the heroes are sitting prior to this, but I have a general feel for them in the game, so I'll just go off that essentially. So, Junker Queen. I think Junker Queen dominated the meta for a while. Then I think they nerfed her, and I think the nerfs were pretty okay. I think they did a big nerf to her healing. And then after that, God only knows. I think she's alright, but I don't think she's the best. But let's see what they're doing here. So they're increasing Jagged Blade, aka the little knife she throws out, the damage from 50 to 65. And that's it. Not bad. I mean, if you're getting a fucking knife thrown at your skull, I think that's good. But I think overall that you should be able to headshot with this. The fact that you can headshot with this is sort of stupid. But what do you think, Mitch? What do you think about Junka Queen?
Well, I think she's good. She's a Republican,
Oh, okay. That must mean she's great.
so a buff
Hmm.
is needed because the
Yes.
Democrats are trying to silence her.
Okay. All right. Well, thankfully, I don't think she's gonna be too much louder, but definitely not silent after this. So this is a step in the right direction, according to Mitch McConnell, Reaper of the USA. Anyway, after J Queen, we're gonna go to Orisa. So what do I think of Orisa? I think Orisa has some major issues. I think her hitbox is basically the um I think her hitbox is one of the major issues of her. Where if
What
she
happened?
has nothing, I just saw something that kind of surprised me. Um, I think her hitbox is one of the major issues. I think if they fix that, because she's so fucking massive. Granted, she's a tank, but I think the major issue is if she doesn't have any of her skills up, she's kind of just a sitting duck out there, and she's so fucking huge. I feel like you have a magnetic aura that just soaks damage because she's so big. But aside from that, if you have a good team supporting you, I feel like Arisa is one of the tankiest people in the fucking game. Honestly, the fact that she could like not only deflect any projectiles, but push you back and do damage with it is kind of crazy to me. I like Arisa overall, but I think she's definitely on the stronger side. So if we're gonna see anything, I expect to see a nerf here. But let's see what they're doing. The Fortify cooldown has been adjusted so that the effective uptime remains the same. However, Arisa is no longer incentivized to cancel the ability early. Okay, this makes the interval between uses consistent and more susceptible to counterplay. So, like I said, when she has her stuff up, she feels like a fucking god tank, and they're changing that. So, the cooldown is, oh my dear god, the cooldown is from 12, getting increased from 12 to 16.5, and the cooldown now begins when you activate it instead of when it ends. So it's technically the same if you keep it the whole way through, which I don't know why you would ever deactivate it, but okay. And then they're actually still nerfing it if this wasn't a nerf enough to where you get less bonus health by 25. Overall, like I said, I don't know when you're going to be deactivating this. I honestly have no clue. So this isn't really too hard of a nerf. I basically take it as a 25 less health nerf. What do you feel about this, Mitch?
Arisa is a Democrat, and
Oh, okay, that's not good.
and the first one cooldown begins when the ability is activated instead of when it ends. It's very reminiscent to the Democratic Party, which is when they do something, all they do is they want more. They don't want it. If I give a Democrat $100, they're gonna spend it on their Democrat things and still want another $100. Now, the cooldown increased because they have too much people now, and the government doesn't have enough money. That's why the cooldown is increased to how much they want.
Yes.
But the overhealth bonus decreased is them pissing off the party. And when by the party, I mean Joe Biden is pissing off the people.
I see.
Arisa's a Democrat.
I see. Well, thank you for the explanation, Mitch. It's a lot more clear to me now. Yeah, so I think these these nerfs to Arisa are kind of weenie. I think because she's a Democrat, I think she needs more nerfs if they want to bring her in line. Or, instead of nerfing her, just buff up other people. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, let's see what's going on next. So, Zarya. What do you think of Zarya? I think ever since Zarya got nerfed, she's never really been in the limelight anymore. I think Zarya is a very simple character where if she's good, she's too good, and if she's not good, she gets overshadowed very easily. So Zarya is a very feast or famine character where, again, if she's meta, she's extreme meta. Because Zarya is very simple, and people that are very simple are very easy to just go into the extremes of both sides being good or bad. So I think currently she's not that good. She's not terrible, but she's not gonna outperform any of the other tanks unless the enemy's really stupid. But at that point, you could play anyone. So I'm assuming we're going to see some buffs here, but let's see. Zarya often spends both barrier charges on herself. Mitch, do you have anything that reminds you of?
Well, Zarya is a Republican.
Oh, okay.
So
Mitch, you there? Okay, I'm assuming Mitch needs a second. Maybe his connection's gone out again. But anyway, it's usually more consistent for building energy if she puts it on herself. This change to projected barrier incentivizes using the barrier for her allies, which is interesting. So let's see this. So the projected barrier health is increased from 200 to 225. This is where I don't think a lot of people really know that Zarya's barrier doesn't have that much health. So them buffing it by 25, yeah, it's something, but again, in the grand scheme of things, what's 25 health, right? You're not supposed to be shooting this thing anyway. So then the cooldown is decreased from 10 to 8 seconds, which is insane, and then the size is increased by 15. I think with these changes, Zarya is going to be really good again. Like, I don't know why they're doing this. I don't know, first of all, how what they're saying makes sense. I don't see Zarya using this on her teammates. I see her only using this on herself still. I mean, yeah, it'll be helpful on teammates too if they need it, but this literally doesn't incentivize you at all any more than yourself to use it on anyone else. Nothing's changing with using on anyone else. It's just getting better overall. So, I mean, this is good. This is really good. It's just what they're saying doesn't make sense. Similar to, I guess, as Mitch would say if he was here, the Democrats. But yeah, I think Zarya is really good from this. Let's check in and see if the Reaper's here. Reaper, are you here again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you're back. Okay. Do you think Zarya is like a powerful Republican now?
Yeah, I know. This is a result of the Democrats trying to hold down powerful women.
Oh
And,
my.
they now have to face the wrath of Zarya. And, if we break down each buff,
Yes.
we'll go one by one by one.
Yes.
So, health increased, which means health up, if you didn't know.
Okay. Mitch, I'm gonna stop you here. We already went over this.
From 200 to 225.
Okay,
Now,
Mitch. How about we go over Ash? How about you tell us what's happening with Ash?
okay. Well,
Administer medicine.
developer comment. Ash has the longest total reload time of all heroes to balance out the advantage of
Uh-huh.
being able to shoot them after a
Oh,
partial reload. However, we are shortening it slightly by making it the full reload from empty list punishing. Reload time decreased from 0.25 to 0.2 second.
thank you. Thank you so much, Mitch. I know that was very hard for you to do, but thank you. So as Mitch said, Ash takes a while to reload. I think Ash has a whole bunch of other issues, but this is where Ash, to me, is one of the skill cap champions. If you are good at aiming, you can do work on Ash. Granted, at that point, just play Widow, but you could still play Ash and have a little bit more high octane plays than Widow if you want the difference. But I think Widow's just better personally. But Ash is definitely still there. I feel like Ash doesn't really fill any sort of a niche on the DPS roster, and this is where I think Overwatch, one of the few good things they do, is they create heroes that fill niches and are fun. I think Ash is fun. She just doesn't really fill any sort of a niche other than, oh, they have Eric people, you have McCree, you have Soldier, and then you have Ash as another potential counter with Widow. Ash being, I think, one of the weakest of the bunch if you're not good. If you're good, Ash is pretty good. But overall, I think she needs a little bit more help to really stand her ground. I still think she's on the weaker side because she's so skill reliant. And take someone similar like Genji. Genji's very skill reliant, but if you're good at Genji, you can go fucking crazy. And if you're good at Ash, at that point, why not just play Widow if you're good at aiming like that? Because that's mainly what she needs. So overall, I mean, this is a buff. Is this going to put her above anyone else? No. Is it going to be a good quality of life change to the Ash players like me? Yes. Overall, I think this is good. Now, we need to figure out something very, very important here, though. Mitch, is Ash a Republican or a Democrat?
No, Republican.
Okay. Okay, so there you go. Ash is pretty alright. Let's see what's happening next. So, next up, we have Bastionian. So, what do I think of Bastion? Ironically enough, on paper, Bastion should be pretty good. And it's the same thing as I said before with Ash. Bastion is a little bit skill capped. Not as much as Ash, but in a similar way where I feel overall they kind of nerfed him. I feel like if you can aim, you can do pretty well, but it almost feels somewhat deceptive where if you can aim on Bastion, you feel like you should be doing more, and you're not, and it's weird. I don't feel like he's that strong, but I don't know. So I feel like they should buff him, but I'm not sure because he just like it's almost like a fantasy of okay, I'm mowing them down with a minigun, but they're not dying as fast as they should be. At least that's how I think of it. So let's see if they're gonna buff him. I think Bastion could use some buffs, but let's see. The A36 tactical grenade sounds like something in the U.S. military. Is now
more reliable after having its projectile size increased recently, so it doesn't need to be quite as damaging.
So this is where we missed the last patch note, where I guess they buffed it.
The change to configuration artillery is a bug fix for what is intended for the ultimate, and we'll monitor to see how this impacts Bastion's performance. Now, I have something to say.
Yes, Mitch, what is it?
Bastion is a Republican.
Oh, okay.
As you can see,
he looks like a common worker.
Yeah, he has a MAGA hat.
Oh, yeah. I think if I zoom in, I see it there, yeah.
Yeah. I don't like Bastion.
Oh, what?
I don't like Bastion.
You said he was a Republican, right, Mitch?
I don't like Bastion.
Okay. Well, I think you'll be happy to hear then that Bastion is getting nerfed. So, the impact of the testicle grenade is being reduced from 30 to 15. So they're literally halving the damage of it, which if you half anything, I think that's a significant change. Granted, 30 to 15 isn't that big, but just the general of 50% nerf is pretty big in my mind. But I think at this point they should have compensated with it. They should have made it, yeah, 30 to 15 impact, but the explosion should have gone up in damage, because if you're getting stuck with a fucking bomb, you should die. But that's just my opinion. And then apparently the artillery, aka the ult, if it hits you in the head, it can no longer headshot, which, I'm gonna be honest. If you're getting hit point blank with a fucking mortar strike, you should die anyway. And I think in the game you died anyway if you were anyone squishy. I think the headshot was just kind of a funny thing anyway, and I think in niche cases where, number one, if you're skilled enough to hit a headshot with this thing, I think you kind of fucking deserve it, number one. But number two, I think this actually only mattered in cases where you're hitting like a giga tank, like maybe Roadhog who has a shit ton of health in the head. At that point, you're probably one-shotting him. I think normally you can't really one-shot characters that have that much health, but I'm not too sure because I really don't see much Bastion. And apparently, with the last buff to him, I didn't really see much Bastion even after that. So I don't really know how impactful these are, and I don't know how pertinent these changes really are either. I don't think these changes should necessarily have been done. But anyway, that's just me.
Developer comment: May is still underperforming after her last set of changes. So we are increasing the effectiveness of primary fire and improving the quality of life to deep chill.
Okay, now Mitch, I have a little bit of a question that I
love May.
Okay, so I know
I love May.
I know in your personal life, there might be something alluding to that, especially with your love life. But I just have a really quick question here that I know the fans have been asking me for a long time. Would you let May into the country if she wanted to immigrate here?
Well, the Democrats would like you to believe no.
Okay. So should I take that as a yes?
I will personally,
Yes.
will take May into the country. Me.
Okay. So
not you.
Not me.
Me.
Yes. So that's very interesting. Okay. So let's see what they're changing with May. So apparently May's still not hitting, and this is ironic because I think some of the best DPSs in the game, obviously if you can use them, one of them is May. I feel like May is one of the top DPSs because she has pick and catch out potential, and she kind of just farts damage on you. So I think she's really good if you know how to use the wall. I think the wall is the thing that separates good maze from bad maze, and I know Mitch, you kind of have some experience with walls too. I believe one of the former presidents had to do something with the wall, but no one remembers him because he lost and he's a loser, and we don't remember old presidents here. But I know there was a wall involved, so I think similar to that, a wall here is very important, and if there's a May who's good, they can utilize the wall very well. So what exactly are they doing? They are increasing the damage from 65 to 70, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you got to remember this is per second. So over time, this is going to add up. Literally after 2 seconds, you're doing 10 more damage, which again, doesn't sound like a lot, but you got to let it cook, which is ironic because she's using ice. But anyway, duration before slow falls off between primary fire hits increased from 0.5 to 0.6. I feel like this is such a small, insignificant change. No one's going to notice it. And it really is just there to like say, yeah, we did something. The fact that the fall off doesn't happen at 0.5 seconds, it instead happens at 0.6, that kind of just feels like again, you participated trophy. I don't understand why that's here, but it is technically a buff, but to what extent, I don't know. Well, I do know it's basically nothing. And then deep chill. Bonus damage can now also be triggered with May's quick melee. I'm gonna be straight honest. I think this really doesn't change too much. I think the biggest change she got was she got her damage a little bit upped, but there's a lot more text here than really needs to be if you catch my drift. But yeah, I think May's overall a little bit better though. And I think she's already good enough, so I don't think we need more buffs personally. The thing about May is she's good at close range, She's almost like a mini Symmetra at close range. Obviously, she doesn't have the little turrets to help her, but she has the wall. She's very defensive with the wall and her ice block. She's very offensive with her fart spray gun, and she has range with her icicles. Like, I feel like a good Mei can do like nearly anything. So again, just proving that we don't really need more Mei buffs. But anyway, moving on to the supports. So, we have a support passive update. Duration until support passive activates is increased from 1.5 to 2 seconds. I think, even though the numbers aren't that big, I think this is a pretty big nerf. I think going from 1.5 to 2 seconds, aka increasing by 0.5, you're increasing it by 25% at this point. I think that's pretty decently big, and you're going to feel this a little bit on healer. You're going to notice this. It's not going to have too big of an impact, but it's definitely going to be more annoying to play healer. I don't think healers were necessarily that good, though. Granted, the weakest role in the game is DPS, and I'm sad to see they really didn't help out DPS that much. But, yeah, I don't think healers necessarily needed this nerf, but let's see what's going on. Support heroes have received individual improvements to their survivability and are quite strong overall, so reducing the impact of the role-wide passive. Interesting. So, here's where we start the changes. Baptiste. So, Mitch, have you ever played Baptiste?
He's a Republican, yes.
Oh, okay. How would you say Baptiste is?
Attractive.
Oh. Whoa. I don't know if you should be saying that on here, Mitch, but okay. So I also agree. I think Baptiste is very attractive. He's a very good-looking guy. He's also funny too, which bonus points for that. So let's see what they're doing with him. I think Baptiste is, like I've been saying before, like a broken record, very skill capped. I think a bad Baptiste can't really function well. I think a good Baptiste can do a lot. I don't really know if I would say he's OP or underpowered. I honestly don't know. So this could go either or. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do for him. Regenerative Burst's overall healing output has been too effective after gaining the bonus instant heal for low health allies. So we are reducing its total healing slightly. Let's see what slightly is. So the instant healing is going from 50 to 40, and then the heal over time is going from 50 over 5 to 40 over 4. Interesting. So you're getting the same amount of healing that you would have gone before at 4 seconds. It's just you're not going to get any more than that. So yeah, this really is just straight up what they said. Slight nerf to his heal. I think this is fine. I think this is honestly fine. Anyway, Kiriko. I like Kiriko. I play Kiriko a decent amount. I think there's some other healers that are better for her, but I think Kiriko is one of the best counter healers in the game, especially towards Ana. If the enemy is running Ana, you need to have a Kiriko on the team. Now, this is where I want Kiriko to be my wife. I just want to add that in there. And I think she's okay, but I think she probably could be a little bit better. But let's see. So, developer comments. The protection Suzu no longer knocks back enemy heroes. I didn't even know it did that. So the projectile doesn't need to impact them either. This quality of life change prevents accidental activations when thrown into groups with both enemies and allies. Interesting. Mitch, you wanna comment on this one while I organize my thoughts?
I think Kiriko could come to the country.
Okay, well, thank you for letting us know that. I think she's my future wife, so I definitely personally am excited for that.
What?
She's I'm gonna be her lover.
All right, I have to go.
Oh well, I know you're very busy, Mitch. So I thank you for.
I have to go.
Thank you for all the time you took out.
I have to go.
Thank you for all the time you took out of your out of your busy schedule. Anyway, I guess we're just gonna have to continue this on our own. So Kiriko. So the protection Suzu no longer knocks back enemy heroes, like I said. This is where I think that this is actually a little bit not a straight buff or a good thing. This could actually be a bad thing here. So this is where I don't think it's a quality of life change, because sometimes you would try and direct hit people with your Suzu, and that's how you would cleanse them. You wouldn't aim it at the floor. Sometimes you'd aim it at them. So again, like I said before with Arisa's a big ass fucking warhorse. You'd literally just throw it at her because you're gonna hit it. Same thing with Rhine. Same thing with like Sigma. These are pretty big ass people. Roadhog even, where you'd kind of throw. Or well, at least I would. I would throw it at them, and I would hit them. Now, if it could just ghost through them like it's fucking made of ether or something, this is actually going to fuck some people up if you're trying to direct hit them. This is where you now have to throw it at the ground. I think they should have buffed it to have it encompassing a little bit of a more wider area, but they don't even see this as a nerf. And I think this is actually an oversight from Blizzard, because this is not good. It passing through enemies, I understand. You know, that's fine, because it's not supposed to do anything to the enemies now anyway. It doesn't even knock them back, which I didn't even know it did. But the fact that it can't hit allies directly, if you're trying to cleanse a Rhine and it goes right fucking through him and you miss, how is that going to be your fault when it's literally going through him? I mean, granted, now you have to get used to just aiming at the ground, which some people probably did anyway, but I think for other people where you throw it literally at their gigantic ass fucking body, I think this is really bad. I actually don't like this at all. Again, they should have made it so the explosion area is wider, just to compensate if you're going to have to throw it at the ground anyway. But I think this is actually a nerf. I don't like this. And then we have bug fixes. I'm not gonna read these because these are stupid. And it looks like pretty much that's it. So I'm gonna be honest. Looking at this whole patch, I think this was pretty stupid. I think almost nothing new got introduced. Obviously from the anniversary, it's all old stuff anyway. The ping system, I guess, was okay, but it's like, what the hell even is that? And then all the adjustments are kind of just not really that big. The biggest one was Zarya. I think the biggest one was Zarya. Aside from that, like the Ashe one is nonsense. The Orisa one is pretty much almost nonsense. It has no difference. The Junker Queen one is negligible. Bastion's one is like, again, it's by half, but it's from 30 to 15. You're not really gonna notice it. The fucking bug fix can no longer deal critical strikes with the ult. I think is sad that they changed that. Maze one is again very little. This whole patch was just very little. Like they changed almost fucking nothing, except the Kiriko one too. That was a bad one. Overall, I wouldn't be too upset at this if Overwatch patch notes came out at a higher frequency and changed more. It honestly does feel like their game is somewhat dying, and I know this firsthand because when I get on at like late at night at 3 a.m. and I try and play games, I sometimes can't find a game for a little bit. And listen, I know my elo's way up there. I know I'm a good player. It's hard to match me with people that I won't shit on, but like, come on. There's not many people on this game anyway. I feel like the game's slowly dying, and after the big load dropping on our faces of what they were doing with PvE, I feel like it's just now a slow descent into madness. Do I think Overwatch 2 is going to die? No, at least not anytime soon, but do I think it will keep tapering off unless they, pick it up and turn it around? Yes, I do think that, but I don't see what they're going to do to turn it around, because it seems like they know what they want to do to make this game make money, and it seems like that's really their only push now. Their only push is how can we make money off this game, not let's make it fun or let's make it like good again. And it's really sad because again, the next time we're probably going to get a patch notes of any value is going to be with the new season. And at that point, what are they really going to change? I don't fucking know. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is fucking not that good. I'm a little upset by this. I wish Mitch was here, but he got a little upset too. Hopefully at the patch notes and nothing else. But overall, I would probably have to rate this with all the changes and how just mostly insignificant they were. I'd probably rate it 4 out of 10 Mitch McConnells. I do not think this one was that good. I mean, it's good that they made Zarya good again, but everything else is kind of just slight sprinkling. It's like imagine you get a cupcake, and then you put some sprinkles on it. That's what they did. It's still the same thing. It's slightly better. It looks cooler, but realistically, it's the same fucking thing. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna rate it 4 out of 10 Mitch McConnells. I hope everyone enjoyed. And this is a big ad for my Twitch channel where I stream every day, Twitch TV/Tecnics channel. So I hope everyone comes there and visits me and watches me live. Hope everyone enjoyed.